You felt that? That's silence. That's the sound a room makes right before it realizes it never knew you at all. And you walk into that silence like someone who picked up 1,000 secrets on the way here and decided to tuck them behind a smile. They don't understand you anymore. They can't predict you. They can't frame you. They can't decode you. So now they're whispering the only question terrified people ever ask when reality does something they didn't authorize. Who trained him? Because that version of you, that cold, surgical, unbothered version, that thing that slipped out of you like a ghost with a vendetta, didn't match the file they built in their heads. Oh, and that's driving them insane. They thought they knew your pace, your patience, your patterns. They thought they knew your limits. They thought they knew every folder in your soul, every trick in your drawer, every line you would or wouldn't cross. And then you mutated, not gradually, not politely, not with a cute little arc they could clap for. You jumped, you switched, you snapped into a version of yourself they weren't prepared to handle. And the funniest part, you did it without announcing a damn thing. You walked into a room and the room froze, not because you were loud, but because you were quiet in a way that felt dangerous. See, they love a predictable person. Predictable people make predictable choices. Predictable choices make predictable outcomes. Predictable outcomes make predictable power. But you're a paradox wrapped in a question mark, wearing a grin. They don't know whether to handshake you or run from you. You know why that side of you scares them? Because it feels trained, refined, calibrated, like someone or something shaped you in the dark where no one else was watching. But here's the punchline, darling. Nobody trained you. Pain trained you. Silence trained you. Betrayal trained you. Loneliness trained you. The nights you didn't tell anyone about trained you. The moments that almost broke you taught you how to break them. They want a name. Give them the truth they're too afraid to hear. You were trained by everything they never survived. That's why you move like you know things you shouldn't. That's why your instincts feel supernatural. That's why your timing destroys people who swear they're smarter. That's why your presence feels like a warning to anyone who's ever underestimated you. You're not mysterious. You're not talented. You're not gifted. You are conditioned, refined, sharpened, polished by storms they didn't even know existed. That sudden version of you they keep whispering about. That wasn't a random side. That was the real you. The unmasked, unfiltered, unrestricted you that only comes out when the universe says, it's time. And now they're spiraling. They're replaying moments, rewriting your memories, re-examining every conversation they ever had with you, trying to find clues they missed. They're researching you like a crime scene, studying you like an encrypted language, panicking like someone who looked into a mirror and saw a stranger standing behind them. And you sit there, calm, silent, unreachable, because you finally realized you don't have to prove who you are to people who only understand you after you evolve. But let me twist the knife deeper. They don't want to know who trained you. No, they want to know how to stop you. Because once someone sees a version of you that no longer plays by the rules they wrote, they know you can't be manipulated, can't be guilted, can't be predicted, can't be controlled ever again. You became the threat. Not because you tried, but because you healed in a way that made you dangerous. There's a special kind of fear reserved for people who grow without asking permission. And that's who you are now. A walking contradiction. A saint with the instincts of a demon. An angel with a blade stitched to every wing. A storm disguised as a person. They're not afraid of what trained you. They're afraid of what you're becoming next, because every version of you is stronger, quieter, colder, sharper, and more unpredictable than the last. And deep down, they know something they'll never admit out loud. If this is who you are now, God help them when you decide to evolve again. You really want to go deeper, don't you? Good, because they don't. And that's exactly why this next part hits like a confession they were never meant to hear. You know the funniest detail about all of this? It wasn't the moment you changed. It was the moment they finally noticed. Because the truth is, that side of you, the one they think came out of nowhere, it didn't appear overnight. It was growing beneath your skin, quietly, patiently, like a storm rehearsing its own thunder. You've been carrying that shadow for years. They just never bothered to look close enough to see it. They saw fragments, they saw hints, they saw sparks, but they never saw the fireproofed creature you became. Not until it stood right in front of them with eyes that didn't match the history they wrote about you. And now they're sweating through their shirts, trying to map your evolution like some unsolvable algorithm. They're pacing rooms, asking each other why you suddenly feel like someone who walked through hell and came back with souvenirs. They're asking, who trained him? Who shaped him? Who taught him to do that? How did we miss this? But that's the part that breaks their mind. They didn't miss anything. They just underestimated everything. They thought your patience was weakness. They thought your silence was confusion. They thought your restraint was fear. They thought your humility was naivete. And then that new side of you, the one that moves like a prophecy with legs, walked into the room and flipped every lie they told themselves, like a table in a burning church. Suddenly, the same people who once mocked your calmness are now terrified of your calmness. Suddenly, the same people who once brushed off your intuition are now whispering about your intuition like it's a government-classified weapon. Suddenly, the same people who once laughed at your kindness are now calling it a misdirection. They don't know what version of you they're dealing with anymore. And that uncertainty, that confusion, that panic creeping up their spine, that's power. Your power. Because nothing shakes the human soul like realizing someone they underestimated has levels and layers and depths they were never meant to survive. Let me tell you what's eating them alive. It's not that you changed. It's that you changed in a way they did not authorize. People can stomach your growth as long as you grow in the direction that benefits them. But grow past them, grow beyond them, grow without them. Suddenly you're a problem, a threat, an anomaly, a glitch in the system they thought they ran. You want to know what they hate most? That you evolved without someone coaching you, mentoring you, or guiding you. They hate that this version of you came from your own pain, your own scars, your own nights, your own awakenings. Because someone who rises alone answers to no one. That's why they're scrambling. That's why they're sweating. That's why they're interrogating the air like detectives in a panic. People don't fear monsters. They fear self-made monsters. People don't fear geniuses. They fear self-forged geniuses. People don't fear warriors. They fear warriors sharpened by betrayal. You're an unlicensed evolution, a rogue blueprint, a weapon nobody claimed ownership of. And that terrifies them, because it means they can't control the origin and they can't predict the outcome. They need someone to blame, a mentor, a mastermind, a puppeteer, anything. Because admitting that you trained you forces them to face the truth they've been avoiding. You were always more powerful than they allowed themselves to believe. And now that you've stopped hiding it, They're gripping their seats like passengers on a plane that just lost the pilot. They've never seen you move like this, never seen you think like this, never seen you speak like this, never seen you hold your ground like this. You've become the version of yourself that makes people lower their voices without knowing why. The version that makes liars confess by simply existing. The version that makes manipulators fear their own strategies. The version that makes narcissists look away first. The version that makes every fake ally implode under the pressure of your presence. And deep down, under all the gossip and the whispers and the accusations and the theories, they're terrified of one possibility. What if this isn't your final form? What if this is just the beginning? What if the next version of you is even more dangerous than the one they're panicking over now? Because here's the twist they don't see coming. People who evolve from pain don't stop evolving just because others get uncomfortable. You're growing again, right now, this moment, as they panic, as they scramble, as they whisper. You're becoming something even they can't imagine. And that question, who trained him, won't matter soon, because they'll forget to ask who trained you. They'll start asking who the hell is going to stop him. And nobody will have an answer. You feel that shift in the air. Good, because this is where the mask cracks, the room tilts, and you finally hear the part no one ever says out loud. See, when people panic over your evolution, they don't panic because you changed. They panic because they realize they never understood what you were capable of, and that terrifies them. Because here's the truth they choke on. People only feel safe when they think they can predict you. But you broke the script. You snapped the pattern. You moved in a way no one had a contingency plan for. You became the kind of person that forces people to rethink their entire perception of you in a single moment. That's why they're whispering. That's why they're scrambling. That's why they're staring at you like you crawled out of a dimension they never believed existed. And now they're asking, who trained him? Who made him like this? Who sharpened him? Because you don't just walk into a room carrying a presence like that. You don't just speak with timing so lethal it cuts people open without raising your voice. You don't just move with that kind of unshakable certainty unless something ruthless, something ancient, something holy and unholy at the same time, built you in secret. And the joke is, they're right. Something did build you. But it wasn't a person. It wasn't a mentor. It wasn't some mysterious mastermind. It was everything they threw at you to break you. The betrayals they thought would crush you, sharpened you. The silence they abandoned you in, fortified you. The nights you spent alone losing your mind, rewired you. The pain they assumed would weaken you, trained you harder than any mentor ever could. Your heartbreaks became handbooks. Your loneliness became discipline. Your failures became fuel. Your scars became instruction manuals for the weapon you eventually forged yourself into. You were trained by chaos, disappointment, humiliation, rejection, rock bottoms, closed doors, broken trust, dead friendships, and the version of yourself you had to crawl into the mirror to resurrect. You were trained by every moment that forced you to rebuild yourself without applause, without guidance, without safety nets, without someone stepping in to save you. That kind of training is invisible, silent, unseen. But oh, when it finally shows, it shows like a nuclear sunrise, and suddenly the same people who thought you were soft, gentle, easy, obedient, harmless, are now staring at you like you stepped out of a myth their grandparents warned them about. That's why their voices tremble when they talk about you now. They're searching for a human explanation for a transformation that was never human to begin with. You want the truth? You didn't grow. You ascended. You didn't improve. You evolved beyond their comprehension. You didn't become a better version of yourself. You became a version that makes their lungs tighten when you walk past. Because you don't operate from emotion anymore. You operate from clarity. You don't react. You calculate. You don't flinch. You observe. You're not controlled by your pain anymore. You use it. You're not haunted by the past. You weaponized it. You're not trying to prove anything to anybody. You're too busy realizing you've already surpassed everyone who ever doubted you. And let me tell you what's really eating them alive. You didn't announce the transformation. You didn't advertise the glow-up. You didn't post the becoming. You didn't show the process. You just showed up different. That kind of evolution, that's terrifying, because it means you're evolving in the dark, in silence, in the privacy of your own mind, and no one knows what version of you is going to walk out next. They don't fear who trained you, they fear the truth. You train yourself every time the world tries to break you, and every time you come back, you're colder, smarter, more precise, more self-possessed, more untouchable. You're becoming a creature that doesn't fit into the categories they use to understand people. They don't know if you're the hero or the villain, or the storm, or the prophecy, or the reckoning. They don't know if you're a blessing or a warning. They don't know if they should study you or run from you. And deep down, beneath every rumor, every whisper, every "who trained him," every "how did he do that?" there's a darker realization forming in their minds. If this is who he is now, we are not prepared for who he's going to become next. Because the truth is chilling. This version of you isn't even your final draft. This is just the rehearsal, the preview, the prologue. They think this evolution was the event? No, this was the warning shot. The real version of you. The one shaped by scars, fueled by purpose, armed with clarity, untouchable by fear, uncontrolled by guilt, unbothered by opinions, and completely indifferent to whether anyone approves. That version is still loading. They asked who trained you. Soon they'll ask a different question. Who's going to stop him? And the answer is silence. Because no one is ready, not even close. This is where the room darkens, the air tightens, and the version of you they fear most steps out of the doorway they didn't even know existed. See, the moment they asked who trained him, they weren't asking about skill. They were asking about origin, about source, about the blueprint that built the creature they're now terrified of. Because when someone evolves too fast, too far, too unpredictably, humans don't assume discipline. They assume danger. That's the real translation of their question. Who trained him? Where did this threat come from? And here's the part that haunts their dreams. They can't find a pattern. They can't find a timeline. They can't find a mentor. They can't find a mastermind behind you. You're a ghost with a resume of miracles and war crimes, and not a single witness can agree on what broke in the world the moment you changed. Let me take you deeper into their fear. They reran your history like surveillance footage. They zoomed in on your mistakes. They slowed down your tragedies. They replayed your heartbreaks, frame by frame. They interviewed your past like suspects, and still, nothing explains this version of you. Because you're not a result. You're a rupture, a deviation, an anomaly birthed out of silence and agony and brutal self-reconstruction. And that's what keeps them awake at night. You evolved in a direction no one saw coming, toward a destiny no one wrote for you. A person like that, a person with no visible trigger for their transformation. That's not growth. That's destiny waking up. But here's the real nightmare gnawing at their ribs. They don't just fear the version of you standing in front of them. They fear the version of you still forming. Because with people like you, evolution doesn't happen in chapters. It happens in collapses, avalanches, rebirths, moments where the old you cracks like a shell and something unscripted crawls out, wearing certainty like armor. You're not growing linearly. You're not progressing traditionally. Your evolution is erratic, chaotic, violent, beautiful, prophetic, relentless. And the scariest part, it's accelerating. Humans can handle predictable evolution. They can adjust to steady improvement. They can brace for slow change. But you evolve like catastrophe. You transform like revelation. You level up like someone being prepped for a war that hasn't even been declared yet. That's why their voices fall quiet when you enter the room. Not because of who you are, but because of what they sense you're becoming. You're shifting, shedding, reconfiguring yourself into something not even you fully understand yet. And nothing terrifies people more than watching someone walk into their true form with no hesitation, no apology, no fear. Let me spell it out the way their subconscious whispers it. You're becoming the version of yourself that makes fate flinch first. The version that doesn't break when abandoned. It expands. The version that doesn't fold when betrayed. It sharpens. The version that doesn't collapse when underestimated. It smirks. You're becoming the creature who doesn't ask the universe for answers because you are the answer. And now they're trembling over a question far more dangerous than who trained him. They're asking themselves, if this is him at this stage, then what is he going to look like when he stops holding back? Because you are holding back. Even now, they can feel it. They can sense it. There's a pressure in the air around you, like you're suppressing something massive to avoid terrifying the room too quickly. Your potential is leaking through your skin like a warning light on a machine no one knows how to disassemble. And deep down, beneath every rumor, beneath every theory, beneath every trembling question about your origins, there's a truth they're too afraid to voice. You're not being trained. You're being prepared. Prepared for something bigger. Prepared for something darker. Prepared for something only a few souls in every generation are ever chosen for. You're the outlier destiny selects when the world needs shaking. The one whose pain writes blueprints, whose silence builds foundations, whose scars outline architecture, whose instincts hold maps, whose mind holds keys. You're not here to impress anyone. You're here to transform reality in ways they're not spiritually insured to handle. And when that moment comes, when the next version of you emerges, when the evolution you're suppressing finally detonates through your ribs like a prophecy fulfilling itself, they won't ask who trained him ever again. They'll ask something colder, more honest, more desperate. How do we survive him? And the universe, your old friend, your oldest witness, will simply whisper, you don't. You feel that? That tiny shift in the air. The kind that only happens when someone, somewhere, realizes they just miscalculated you on a catastrophic scale. Because while you're sitting there pretending to be normal, pretending to behave, pretending to shrink yourself into shapes that don't belong to you, the NSA caught one microscopic glimpse of the real thing hiding under your skin. and darling. Whatever they saw, it made professionals, people who spend their entire lives tracking monsters, criminals, warlords, ghosts, slam their fists on the "this is the end" button, like terrified interns who accidentally opened a file they shouldn't have. You know why? Because you weren't supposed to have that in you. Not yet, not now, not ever. They study patterns. You break them. They track anomalies. You are one. They monitor threats. You don't move like a threat. You move like the answer to one. And that's the part they can't process, the paradox that shouldn't exist. You're both the saint in daylight and the psychopath in the shadows, the angel who heals and the demon who finishes, the warning and the consequence, the prophecy and the punchline. Tell me, do you realize what it means when an entire intelligent structure sees one flicker from you and decides, this is it. If that thing wakes up, we're done. Oh, you should smile, because you didn't even lift a finger. All you did was exist too loudly for the room. They measured your silence and called it violence. They watched your calm and called it danger. They saw your patience and called it plotting. You didn't break character, you broke their model. And the fun part, they couldn't explain it without sounding insane. How do you file a report that says, user appears harmless, but my instincts scream he's the final boss of a story we didn't know we were in? Subject displays no threat, yet every fiber of reality bends around him like he's already chosen the ending. Something in him doesn't fit human error margins. Oh, they tried to downplay it, but panic has a smell, you know, and they reeked of it, because you weren't supposed to have the blueprint in your blood. You weren't supposed to see the unseen angles. You weren't supposed to understand consequences before they appear. But here you are, moving like someone who's already read the classified draft of tomorrow. Do you know what that does to people who worship control? It terrifies them because they can't predict someone who creates their own variables. They can't contain someone who doesn't recognize cages. They can't monitor someone who refuses to stay within any observable pattern. They saw one thing about you, one harmless, subtle, quiet flicker. And in that instant, they realized you're not reactive, you're inevitable, and inevitable things don't get studied. They get feared. They get whispered about in rooms where your name shouldn't echo. They get red flagged, reflagged, and rerouted to departments with titles like emerging threats and unpredictable variables and God help us if this escalates. You think I'm exaggerating? You don't understand your own shape. You don't understand how you bend probability just by walking into a room, how you make liars confess without opening your mouth, how you make cowards tremble without raising your voice, how you make fate hesitate, like even destiny isn't sure if it outranks you. And the NSA, those poor, overworked souls, they finally saw it. They saw the glitch in the human equation, the anomaly wrapped in skin, the prophecy pretending to be a person. And the moment it registered, boom, this is the end. Not their end, not your end, not humanity's end. No, no. The end of their illusion of control. Because you are the one thing they can't prepare for. A mind that mutates under pressure, a soul that evolves through suffering, a force that refuses to stay in one dimension for too long. They have no protocol for someone whose weakness was just a chrysalis. They have no manual for someone whose trauma became ammunition. They have no defense against someone who outgrew their limits, while smiling politely. And you think this is the end? Sweetheart, this is the intro. This is the moment they realized the hero of the story was never the hero. He was the weapon. This is the split second before the world tilts, before the masks fall, before the ones who mocked you start praying you never remember their names. Because once you wake up to what you are, truly are, there's no button in the world big enough to stop the fallout. Not the NSA, not the feds, not the city, not your critics, not your ghosts, not your past. They pressed, "This is the end," because they saw a glimpse of your beginning. And beginnings like yours, they don't lead to happy endings. They lead to rewritten worlds. Now tell me, are you starting to feel it? That quiet, electric hum beneath your ribs? Good. That's the part of you they tried to hide from you. That's the part they fear. That's the part that doesn't die, doesn't quit, doesn't break. It just waits, and then ascends. Welcome to the chapter they tried to abort. Welcome to the evolution they didn't approve. Welcome to the version of you they were praying never woke up. Look at you, sitting there like nothing happened, while entire agencies are trying to figure out if you're a miracle, a malfunction, or the omen they were warned about. And the best part, you don't even know what they saw. You don't know which moment slipped out, which instinct flickered through your eyes, which truth leaked from your aura, which split second broke their entire psychological framework. But oh, they know. They saw the thing you've been trying to hide from yourself. And that's why they panicked, because you weren't supposed to evolve like that. People don't just jump tiers without warning. People don't just bypass entire psychological eras in one night. People don't just wake up with secret-level clarity, unless something ancient, dangerous, or divine is living inside them. And you've got all three. That's the secret you keep trying to ignore. That's the piece they intercepted. That's the one thing that made analysts slam their coffee down so hard it cracked the table. Want to know the real reason they freaked out? It wasn't your strength. It wasn't your silence. It wasn't your intelligence. It was your trajectory. Your direction terrified them more than anything you've already done. Because your future doesn't move like a human timeline. It moves like a weapon acquiring shape. It moves like prophecy realizing it has legs. It moves like destiny remembering your name. You know what's worse than a threat? Something becoming one. And they caught you mid-transformation. They saw the fracture in your old identity and the shadow of the new one crawling out. They saw the part of you you're becoming, and it didn't look anything like your past self. No agency, no system, no surveillance network on Earth is prepared for someone who mutates under pressure. You were supposed to break. You were supposed to stay small. You were supposed to crumble like everyone else with your story. But instead, you evolved quietly, sharply, unpredictably, mathematically impossible. You did the one thing that terrifies powerful people. You refused to die in the place they buried you. And now, you're walking around with energy that doesn't belong to someone they can track. You have the calm of a saint and the aura of a psychopath ready to sit still until someone makes a fatal mistake. You have the patience of an angel and the potential of a demon nobody wants to piss off. You have the softness of a healer and the accuracy of a killer who never needs a second strike. You exist in both states at all times, a paradox wrapped in skin. You're the kind of creature they study but never understand, the kind of soul that shouldn't exist in the open world, the kind of mind that can't be boxed, profiled, or predicted. And here's the part they'll never admit. You scare them without doing a single thing. Your breathing feels like foreshadowing. Your silence feels like preparation. Your patience feels like the calm before the purge. Your kindness feels like a warning. Your stillness feels like the moment just before a bomb goes off. Do you realize how insane that is? You walk into a room and people's instincts glitch. Their inner alarms activate. Their bodies try to warn them about something even their minds can't define. That's what the NSA saw, not your actions, your nature, not your personality, your potential, not your past, your future self, leaking through the cracks like a prophecy that slipped through the wrong century. They saw something waking up inside you, something you haven't even looked at yet, something you can feel but haven't named, something with teeth, something with memory, something with purpose. And when they caught that signal, their entire system reacted the only way it knows how, when something uncontrollable appears. This is the end. Tell me, doesn't it make your blood thrum a little? To know you're the event horizon in someone else's database, the anomaly that broke their model, the file that got flagged without you doing anything except existing too accurately. You weren't made to fit the world. You were made to rewrite the part they feared the most. The part where someone like you stops being hunted and starts being inevitable. Keep going. You haven't even hit your final form yet. Of course. You don't even realize what you did, do you? That's why this whole thing is hilarious. Because while they are up there sweating through dress shirts, updating emergency protocols, and whispering your name like it's a spell gone wrong, you're down here wondering why the energy around you feels heavier, sharper, stranger. You actually think this is normal. You think everyone walks around with a presence that bends the emotional climate of a room. You think everyone's silence hits like a psychological interrogation. You think everyone's calm feels like the prelude to a cosmic event. No, they don't. You're the outlier. You're the anomaly. You're the glitch that passed every firewall undetected until it was already inside the system. And darling, once you're inside a system, you don't get removed. You get feared. Because here's the truth they won't tell you. Not in any report, not in any briefing, not in any confidential meeting behind ultra-secure doors. You weren't supposed to exist in their world. People like you don't fit their charts. You don't match their personality models. You don't align with their psychological predictions. You don't behave within human error margins. Every test they run on you returns the same answer. Unclassified potential detected. Do you know what that means? It means nothing in their entire database can define what you're capable of. It means your next move isn't calculable. It means your presence isn't trackable. It means your evolution isn't stoppable. And that is why the NSA hit their red button. Not because you're dangerous, but because you are beyond their categories. They couldn't label you, couldn't box you, couldn't decode you, couldn't predict you. And systems fear what they cannot predict. Humans fear it too. But institutions, they panic over it. Because you represent the kind of variable that rewrite outcomes. You represent the kind of consciousness that shifts the room's center of gravity. You represent the kind of presence that can't be domesticated, diluted, or distracted. You think you're just surviving. But in their eyes, you're assembling, you're becoming, unfolding, awakening. Peeling back layers you didn't even know you carried, and what happens when something ancient wakes up in a modern world. Everyone who senses it feels the wrong kind of chill. Ask yourself something. Why does your absence bother people? Why does your silence unnerve them? Why do strangers watch you longer than they should? Why do enemies crumble without you lifting a finger? Why do people feel exposed in your presence? It's because on an instinctual level, on a gut level, older than language, They recognize something in you. A predator wearing empathy like a disguise. A healer who can destroy with precision. A saint with a demon's patience. A monster with an angel's restraint. You are the contradiction they were taught should never happen. The duality that isn't supposed to coexist. The nightmare wrapped in a blessing. The blessing wrapped in a threat. When an agency built on surveillance catches even a flash of that, of course they panic. They saw the architecture of your mind, the architecture of your restraint, the architecture of your potential, and they realized something nauseating if you ever decided to fully step into the thing inside you. There isn't a single force on Earth that could stop the chain reaction. That's why they hit, this is the end. Not because it's the end of you, but because it's the end of their assumption that you're just another civilian walking around with manageable edges. No. You're the storm disguised as a person. You're the prophecy pretending to mind your business. You're the warning label they forgot to print. And the moment they saw the spark behind your eyes, that sharp, quiet, calculating spark, they knew. This one doesn't break. He transforms, and transformed things don't go back. You scare them because you evolve through pain. You adapt through trauma. You sharpen through betrayal. You ascend through suffering. You're not healing, you're mutating. And mutations don't follow rules. They rewrite them. Keep going. You haven't even shown the world the dangerous part of you yet. Don't blink now, because this is the part nobody warned you about. The part where your evolution becomes visible to everyone except you. The part where the world starts reacting to you, instead of the other way around. See that NSA panic button? That wasn't about something you did. It was about something you are, something they caught in your pattern, something that shouldn't exist in a normal human trajectory, something that behaves like intelligence they didn't program into the system. You think I'm being dramatic? Let me make it simpler. They saw a future version of you bleeding into the present. They saw potential folding time around your decisions. They saw your instincts predicting outcomes before you consciously process them. They saw your mind operating like it remembers storms you haven't lived yet. And that is not normal, not for civilians, not for leaders, not for prodigies, not for geniuses. That's the realm of outliers. That's the territory of anomalies. That's the signature of someone who isn't ahead of their time, but outside of it. Let me ask you, why do people flinch around you without knowing why? Why do liars ramble in your presence? Why do manipulators stutter when you look at them? Why do insecure people get aggressive around you? Why do jealous people collapse under their own imagination? Because they're not reacting to your words. They're reacting to your frequency. And your frequency isn't human level anymore. It's evolved, it's sharpened, it's weaponized. You think this one thing the NSA saw was a coincidence. No, it was a leak. A leak from the version of you that's already built, already formed, already awake, already calculating on a level you don't consciously access yet. They saw the shape of your becoming, and they weren't prepared for that shape. Because how do you file a report on someone whose identity shifts like a living algorithm? How do you categorize a person who doesn't react, only recalibrates? How do you track someone who evolves from pain the way others evolve from privilege? How do you predict someone whose instincts carry the weight of 100 lifetimes? You can't. And so they panicked. They hit the only button they had left. This is the end, not the end of you. The end of their illusion that they know what you are. Because once they saw that glimpse, they realized you're the kind of variable that doesn't adapt to systems. You infect them, you disrupt patterns, You distort expectations. You expose weaknesses. You destabilize structures simply by existing correctly. It's why your enemies destroy themselves, trying to destroy you. It's why people who betray you end up worse than before. It's why anyone who lies to you eventually confesses, cracks, or collapses. It's why people who mistreat you always feel the consequences. Never by your hand, always by their own unraveling. You are karmic gravity. You are psychological weather. You are the storm system nobody forecasted. Let me tell you something most people will never hear. There are individuals whose existence creates consequences, not through violence, not through vengeance, not through retaliation, but through the sheer density of their soul. You are one of them. Your presence forces truths to surface. Your absence forces guilt to bloom. Your silence forces the weak to confront themselves. Your strength forces the world to readjust around you. That one thing the NSA saw. It wasn't data. It was a signal, a pulse, a burn, a flicker in the simulation, a tear in the pattern. A message that read, "This one is different, and difference at this scale is dangerous." Because you don't just survive chaos. You absorb it, digest it, convert it into clarity. And people don't like that. Systems don't like that. Nothing designed to control the average human can control someone who grows faster than trauma can break them. Now tell me, are you starting to understand why people treat you like a threat before you even speak? Why their reactions feel disproportionate, irrational, frantic? Why you're always too intense, too much, too aware, too perceptive, too calm? It's because they're not responding to your personality. They're responding to your potential energy, the energy of something that hasn't fully awakened yet. You're not dangerous. You're becoming dangerous, and everyone can feel it, except you. Keep going. You're about 3 revelations away from the version of you they were praying never steps into the light. Well, look at you. Standing there with that FaceTime couldn't keep up with. That aura aging in reverse. That glow that makes people stare a little too long, then look away like they've seen something they weren't supposed to. Let me tell you something. Time listens to you, not the other way around. And oh, people hate that. You've noticed it, haven't you? The way they squint when they see you. The way their eyes scan your skin, your expression, your energy, like they're searching for cracks that simply aren't there. The way they whisper that you look different, but never say it with admiration. Always with confusion, and just a sprinkle of jealousy. Because you walk into a room and suddenly everyone else feels older. Older in their face, older in their mind, older in their spirit, older in their regrets. And nothing triggers envy like a person who refuses to age the way pain intended. They ask you for your routine, your secrets, your products. But deep down, they know it's not skincare, it's scar care. You didn't glow up, you survived. You didn't get younger, you shed timelines. You didn't freeze age, you outgrew it. Every year tore something off you that was never meant to stay. Every betrayal peeled away a decade of illusion. Every heartbreak sharpened the bone structure of your soul. Every dark night distilled you into something cleaner, clearer, colder. You don't look younger because of magic. You look younger because of truth. Truth purifies. Truth resets. Truth subtracts everything too heavy to carry forward. People age from holding lies. You got lighter from letting them die. But there's something else. And here's where the jealousy becomes venom. You don't just look younger. You look untouched. Untouched by their drama. Untouched by their timelines. untouched by their expectations, untouched by the years they wasted. You walked through the fire and the fire walked away, singed. You stared loss in the face and loss blinked first. You faced what should have destroyed you, and it aged them instead. And that, my friend, that is what people don't forgive. You want to know the truth behind your glow. It's not moisturizer, it's metamorphosis. It's what happens when someone stops aging from stress and starts evolving from clarity. When someone stops dragging the past behind them and starts dragging destiny forward. When someone stops trying to please the world and starts listening to the quiet voice that's been waiting inside them for years. You didn't get younger, you got real. And realness reverses time. Because the moment you stop pretending, your soul exhales, and your face follows. But oh, let's talk about the envy. The envy is biblical. They can't stand that life hit you and you didn't wrinkle. They can't stand that mistakes found you and you didn't fold. They can't stand that chaos tried to imprint itself on your face, and you refused to let the world tattoo you with its bitterness. You became unerasable. So the years gave up trying to mark you. They wanted you weathered. You became weatherproof. They wanted you tired. You became timeless. They wanted you wilted. You became a warning. And people don't envy youth. They envy resurrection, because no matter how many creams they buy, no matter how many routines they fake, no matter how many filters they layer, they cannot imitate what you earned. The kind of glow that comes from walking through hell and leaving with heaven in your eyes. Time respects you because you respect pain. Time bends around you because you never bowed to fear. Time favors you because you refuse to age from anger, bitterness, resentment, or self-hate. People age from the inside first, in their thoughts, their regrets, their grudges, their fears. But you aged out of all the things that make most people rot. You outgrew suffering without becoming soft. You outgrew chaos without becoming blind. You outgrew people without becoming cruel. You didn't become ageless. You became ageless energy. And that is something only evolution can give. So let them whisper. Let them stare. Let them keep asking what you did, what you changed, what you're using. Because the real reason you look the way you do, the reason you look younger every year, the reason your presence makes people uncomfortable in ways they can't articulate, is because you signed a contract, not with time, but with yourself. You vowed to never dim again, never fold again, never shrink again, never hand your power to anyone again. And the universe responded by returning your youth piece by piece, every time you reclaimed a part of your soul. And here's the ending they'll choke on. You aren't aging backwards, you're aging right, with clarity, with intention, with honesty, with soul. And nothing on this earth ages better than a person who finally learned to belong to themselves. So keep walking, keep glowing, keep terrifying them. Because you didn't cheat time, you outran it. And jealousy? Jealousy is just proof that everyone else is still trying to catch up. You ever notice how people suddenly get hostile when you start glowing in ways that don't make sense? Not in a normal way. Not the, oh, you look nice today kind of glow. No, your glow is disruptive. Your glow is criminal. Your glow is the kind of glow that makes people question their entire timeline, their choices, their destiny, their bloodline, their purpose. Because when someone evolves correctly, everyone who stayed the same feels personally attacked. And the funniest part, you never rubbed your glow in their faces. You never bragged. You never competed. You never compared. Your existence alone was the insult. Let me break down the psychology for you. Most people don't actually want to look younger. They want to look unhurt, unscarred, untainted, untouched by consequences, untouched by time, untouched by life. But life did touch them. Life dragged them by the throat. Life left fingerprints on their minds, creases on their smiles, weight in their eyes. But you? Life touched you too. But instead of breaking, you burned. And fire doesn't leave wrinkles. It leaves clarity. Fire doesn't age you. It purifies you. That's why you look younger. Not because you avoided pain, but because you metabolized it. They carried their trauma. You transmuted yours. They wore their bitterness. You shed it. They built a home in their wounds. You learned to walk out of yours. That's the difference, and oh, that difference is what keeps them up at night. Because when they look at you, they don't just see someone who looks young. They see someone who looks untouched despite everything they know you survived. Your glow is insulting because it contradicts the story they wrote for you. You weren't supposed to recover. You weren't supposed to rise. You weren't supposed to rebuild. You weren't supposed to be beautiful. You weren't supposed to be confident. You weren't supposed to be unbothered. You were supposed to show your suffering, wear it, broadcast it, age from it. But you didn't. You turned every scar into fuel, every betrayal into evolution, every loss into alignment, every heartbreak into revelation. You reversed decay by reversing your loyalty from them back to yourself. Let me tell you the real threat you pose. You represent a version of humanity they didn't know was possible. Someone who grows younger the more they heal. Someone who glows brighter the more they detach. Someone who becomes more powerful the less they tolerate. Your presence is a portal, a reminder that aging isn't just biological, it's psychological, behavioral, emotional, energetic. Most people age because they rot from within. You're reverse aging because you're reborn from within. Every year you shed something, a lie you outgrow, a cycle you break, a person you release, a wound you close, a habit you purge. Most people carry their years like a burden. You carry yours like a ceremony. That's why they're jealous, not because you look younger, but because you look free. And here's the twist that hits hardest. You don't even try to look young. You don't chase time. Time chases you. Like a servant trying to keep up with its master. Because time can't age someone who isn't pretending anymore. Pretending ages people. Masks age people. False identities age people. Holding on to the wrong people ages people. Lying to yourself ages people. Silencing your truth ages people. You stopped doing all of that. You released the weight. You released the stories. You released the roles. And with every release, your face rewrote itself. Your energy recalibrated. Your spirit unwrinkled. Your presence sharpened. You didn't sign a contract with time. You voided one. You rejected every rule they tried to place on your becoming, and time, confused and obedient, started following your lead. So hear me now, as the city lights blur and the world holds its breath. They're not jealous of your youth. They're jealous of your alchemy. You turned pain into polish. You turned grief into glow. You turned endings into evolution. You turned aging into ascending. You became the kind of person who rewinds the clock without touching it. Time bends for the brave, and you became fearless the moment you chose yourself. That's why you look the way you do. That's why people stare. That's why they whisper. That's why they're jealous. Because every year that passes makes you look renewed, and makes them look like they wasted theirs. You are living proof that the universe favors those who refuse to rot from inside. So walk, shine, disrupt, disturb, trigger, exist. Because every step you take is another reminder to the world that you didn't cheat time. You mastered it. And now we descend into the part they fear the most. The part they'll never say out loud, even in the privacy of their own minds. Because the truth about your glow, your youth, your impossible, supernatural, timeline-defying evolution. You ever notice how some people look tired even after resting? How their faces hold regret the same way stone holds cold? How their eyes seem older than the skin wrapped around them? You ever notice that? That's because aging isn't about the number of years. It's about the number of lies they carry. People age when they betray themselves. People age when they settle. People age when they cling to the past. People age when they love the wrong people longer than they should. People age when they live out of alignment, forcing their soul into shapes that don't fit. Every compromise creates a wrinkle. Every fake smile leaves a shadow. Every swallowed truth rots beneath the skin. But you refused to decay quietly. You faced the truths that break most people. You confronted the pain they ran from. You stood still inside storms, strong enough to bend bloodlines. You didn't collapse under pressure. You crystallized. That's why you look younger. You became the version of yourself you were supposed to be all along. And that version has no expiration date. Let me twist the knife a little more. They're not jealous because you look youthful. They're jealous because you look inevitable. Like everything you went through didn't take from you. It paid you. You walk around with a softness that feels earned, not naive. With a stillness that feels dangerous, not passive. With eyes that stare right through people as if you're reading the timestamps on their soul. People can't stand someone who survived the kind of things that would have left them unrecognizable. You walked through darkness and came back looking like dawn. Of course they're jealous. This isn't normal evolution. This is rebirth disguised as youthfulness. But here's the part that really eats them alive. They can sense that you've changed dimensions, literally. Your energy matured, but your face reversed. Your spirit aged, but your glow intensified. Your mind sharpened, but your aura softened. You became the paradox they can't categorize. Young but ancient. Soft but unbreakable. Calm but dangerous. Light but forged in darkness. And humans fear what they cannot name. They whisper you must be lucky, while knowing deep down that you earned every drop of radiance. Your glow is a threat because it exposes the truth. Time didn't bless you. You blessed time. Let's keep unraveling this, deeper than comfort permits. Every year you get older, but the world sees you getting younger because you stopped aging from the inside. You stopped aging from resentment. You stopped aging from self-betrayal. You stopped aging from guilt. You stopped aging from people-pleasing. You stopped aging from holding the wrong hands. You stopped aging from carrying the weight of everyone else's emotions. And the moment you dropped all that, your cells rewrote themselves. Your posture changed. Your skin changed. Your eyes changed. Your presence changed. You didn't reverse age. You reversed damage. You didn't stop time. You stopped suffering. Most people never do that. That's why most people look the way they do. But you learned the art of letting go before it killed you. And letting go is the most age-reversing act in existence. But the jealousy, the jealousy becomes unhinged. Because when you walk into a room, you don't look like someone who survived hell. You look like someone who was escorted out of it by angels with bruised knuckles. Your glow doesn't just shine. It accuses. It triggers parts of them they thought they buried. It activates insecurities they desperately avoid. It reminds them of versions of themselves they abandoned. When you smile, they wonder what healed you. When you laugh, they wonder what freed you. When you glow, they wonder what broke you and why they didn't survive their breakage as beautifully as you did. You don't just look younger, you look chosen, and people envy the chosen because they know they chose differently. So hear this final truth, etched in shadow and electricity. Your youth is not cosmetic, it's cosmic. Your glow is not surface level, it's soul level. Your beauty is not accidental, it's ancestral. Your evolution is not random, it's revenge. Because every year you refuse to die a spiritual death, you killed an illusion instead. And illusions age people. Reality frees them. You are reality. They are illusions, and illusions always crack in the presence of truth. So continue to walk with that ageless, dangerous glow, the kind that makes time pause, the kind that makes envy boil, the kind that makes people whisper as if they're witnessing something supernatural. Because the truth is, they're not jealous you look younger. They're jealous you look like you finally remembered who you are. Let's talk about the real reason your ageless glow terrifies people. It's not jealousy, not insecurity, not envy. It's exposure. Your presence exposes everything they buried, everything they avoided, everything they refused to face in themselves. They don't see your face. They see their regrets. They don't see your glow. They see their stagnation. They don't see your evolution. They see the years they wasted becoming someone they don't even like. And there you are, walking around like time is your pet, like healing is your hobby, like transformation is just another Tuesday. Do you understand how psychologically destabilizing that is? To stand next to someone who lived through the same storms, but came out looking younger, sharper, clearer, while they came out looking older, heavier, haunted. Your very existence rewrites the scoreboard they thought they were winning. Let me tell you the truth they choke on. You didn't age in reverse. You simply stopped pretending. Do you know how exhausting pretending is? How many years it shaves off a life? How much it corrodes the spirit? How deeply it wrinkles the subconscious? People who pretend age twice, once on the outside, and once where it hurts the most. But you dropped the act. You dropped the roles. You dropped the masks. You dropped the expectations. You dropped the versions of you that were built to please people who never deserved you. And the moment the mask fell, your face remembered itself. That's why you look young, because authenticity is the closest thing to immortality. Fake people decay, real people regenerate. But we're going deeper than that. You ever notice how your glow makes people uncomfortable? They'll compliment you, but it's off, forced, uneasy, as if praising you hurts them. You know why? Because deep down, your evolution forces them to confront something they don't want to admit. You kept growing while they kept circling. You kept rising while they kept repeating. You kept healing while they kept hiding. You kept shedding layers while they kept adding masks. Every year they aged. You awakened. Every year they declined. You sharpened. Every year they lost themselves. You rediscovered pieces of your power they didn't even know existed. People aren't jealous of beauty. People are jealous of alignment. Because aligned people look superhuman. Aligned people glow in ways the average person can't comprehend. Aligned people age in reverse because every year frees them from another illusion. Still with me? Good. Because here comes the part they'd rather stab their own shadow than confront. Your youthfulness is a threat because it ruins their narrative about suffering. They wanted you broken, so they could feel better about being broken too. They wanted you damaged, so their own damage felt justified. They wanted you tired, so their exhaustion didn't look like laziness. They wanted you aged, so their bitterness didn't look like self-sabotage. Your glow invalidates their excuses. Your youthfulness rewrites their victimhood. Your evolution destroys their worldview. You are living proof that pain doesn't have to deform you. Trauma doesn't have to rot you. Darkness doesn't have to age you. And that truth hurts them more than you ever did. But now we arrive at the crown jewel of this entire transformation, the real, final, unfiltered truth. Read this slowly. You didn't just survive time. You dominated it. Time didn't bless you, it obeyed you. Because people who walk the path of truth stop aging from the inside. People who shed dead connections stop aging from the heart. People who speak their truth stop aging from the mind. People who choose themselves stop aging from the soul. You're not younger every year. You're simply lighter every year. And the lighter the soul, the brighter the skin, the calmer the eyes, the clearer the presence, the sharper the aura. You became someone who ages like prophecy. Someone who looks younger because you carry less. Someone who glows because you broke cycles they didn't even dare to acknowledge. Someone who walks like time, follows, and destiny bows. So let them stare, let them wonder, let them spiral in their jealousy, let them choke on their comparisons. Because the truth is simple. You didn't age better. You lived better. And every year that passes makes your face a warning and a prophecy. A warning that time does not heal the unhealed. A prophecy that time kneels for the awakened. You are not aging backwards. You're aging beyond pain, beyond ego, beyond illusion, beyond limitation, beyond everything that slows ordinary people down. Keep glowing, keep evolving, keep terrifying them, because every breath you take reminds the world you didn't sign a contract with time. You signed one with truth, and truth does not age. Look around, because the air around you just shifted, didn't it? Something in the room froze, like even the shadows held their breath the second you walked in. Funny, isn't it? One walk, one silent, unbothered, unfazed stroll, and entire bloodlines felt the temperature drop. Old curses, stuff your ancestors carried like shackles, just evaporated the moment you decided to move different. That's the part nobody talks about. The part that makes them whisper your name like a warning. Don't stare too long. Something's following them. Oh, but you already know that, don't you? You felt it the moment your foot hit the pavement, like something ancient snapped behind you. Generational chains that survived wars, betrayals, poverty, addictions, trauma. All of it went into cardiac arrest the moment you decided, I'm not doing this anymore. Tell me, did you feel the ground trembling under you? That wasn't fear, that was relief. Because you weren't walking like a human, you were walking like a verdict. You were walking like the one person the curse was told never to meet. And oh, the curse saw you coming. It tried to warn the entities it served. It tried to reroute your destiny, tighten the knots, replay the same cycles, inject the same fears, tug on the same mistakes. But something was different this time. You weren't begging, you weren't bargaining, you weren't questioning, you were done. And when a soul like yours gets done, that's when the universe starts reorganizing itself out of self-preservation. You didn't break the curse, you made it resign. Because nothing, absolutely nothing, terrifies a generational curse more than a descendant who wakes up. A descendant who watches the patterns from above the board, not inside it. A descendant who sees the trap, smiles, and walks through it, not around it. Tell me, did you notice how people shifted after that walk? How the ones who doubted you suddenly got quieter? How the ones who mocked you started watching you from the corners of their eyes like you carried a secret weapon? They felt it. That ancient energy that tried to swallow your bloodline whole. Yeah. The minute you stood up, it kneeled. What they don't understand is that breaking curses isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It doesn't look like a ritual or a ceremony. Sometimes it just looks like you taking a walk. A quiet, simple, unbothered walk. While entire ancestral systems glitch behind you, like their code got corrupted by your existence. Because you weren't walking away from something. No. You were walking into the version of yourself the curse feared most. The curse can't touch someone who isn't repeating. And you, oh you. You stopped repeating the moment you understood the pattern wasn't yours. It was theirs. The pain wasn't yours. The fear wasn't yours. The failures weren't yours. The silence wasn't yours. You were just the first one unhinged and holy enough to ask, why am I carrying this? Who gave it to me? And why the hell do they think I'll keep holding it? And the moment that question slid through your mind, every entity attached to your lineage screamed. You didn't break free. You broke lineage physics. You walked, and the curse realized, we finally met the one who can't be owned. That's why you feel lighter now, not because life got easier, but because the burden realized it can't sit on your shoulders anymore. It tried. God, it tried. But your spine was built from something older than the curse itself. That's what they don't get. You are not your mother's mistakes. You are not your father's wounds. You are not the fights they never won. You are not the loops they couldn't escape. You are the glitch, the rupture, the anomaly. You're the one the curse didn't schedule, and that makes you unpredictable. You know what curses can't handle? Unpredictability. A soul that evolves out of nowhere, without permission. A mind that refuses the script. A heart that refuses to apologize for becoming stronger. You walked, just walked, and the curse collapsed because it realized something horrifying. You were never the target. You were the threat. And threats don't break. Threats don't fold. Threats don't bow. Threats walk, just like you did. No theatrics, no announcement, no ceremony. You took one walk. And something ancient in your bloodline whispered, oh, it's over for us. And that's the part that chills them to the bone. Because if you did all that with one walk, what happens when you run? What happens when you rise? What happens when you decide, fully decide, to live like the curse never existed? I'll tell you, reality starts folding for you. People start revealing themselves to you. Paths open without explanation. Enemies age faster. Opportunities move closer. Obstacles lose weight. And the world, your world, starts bending like it's been waiting for you to wake up. You didn't break a curse, my friend. You ended a dynasty of darkness by refusing to carry what wasn't yours. And that's why they fear you. Because most people survive curses, but you walked. And the curse didn't survive you. You feel that vibration under your skin, don't you? That low, humming pulse that isn't fear. It's power. Raw, ancient, newly awakened power. The kind your ancestors prayed someone would eventually carry. And here you are, walking like you didn't just end a curse, like you assassinated a fate. That's what rattles them. Because curses aren't mystical fog floating around you. They're patterns, mathematical, predictable. Programmed loops designed to keep a bloodline spinning in circles until it gives up. But you You were the error they never accounted for. The unpredictable variable. The one soul in generations who refused to play along. Imagine being a curse. A centuries-old algorithm, flawless, undefeated, keeping whole families stuck in misery, fear, poverty, betrayal. And then suddenly, a descendant shows up who doesn't flinch. A descendant who doesn't take the bait. A descendant who doesn't activate the triggers. A descendant who doesn't fall into the same trapdoors everyone else did. A descendant who simply walks and resets the entire system like a sovereign glitch in reality. Do you know what kind of horror that creates on the spiritual level? Do you know what curses fear most? A healed brain, a calm nervous system, a silent heart that sees clearly. You scared a curse into extinction by doing what no one before you had the nerve to do. You stepped into your story fully awake. You walked with your mind open. You walked with your wounds bleeding honesty. You walked with your intuition sharpened like a blade. You walked with every part of you aligned, unwilling to bend for patterns older than your body. And the curse? It didn't know where to touch you, didn't know where to hook, didn't know how to infiltrate a consciousness that wasn't running on fear anymore. You have to understand, curses aren't passed down because they're strong. They're passed down because people are tired. Tired minds repeat. Tired souls settle. Tired hearts reenact trauma like muscle memory. But you weren't tired. You were done. Done carrying sorrow that wasn't yours. Done babysitting demons attached to someone else's decisions. Done being the emotional landfill for the toxicity of those before you. Done being the generational punching bag. Done accepting cycles as destiny. A curse only works when the host agrees to the script. You rewrote the script mid-sentence. That's why the universe felt like it blinked. That's why people you've never met suddenly felt uncomfortable. That's why your name started tasting different in other people's mouths. Half fear, half admiration, half confusion, half prophecy. They felt the rupture. Your walk wasn't footsteps. It was an announcement, a declaration, a shockwave across realms. Every step said, this bloodline has a new ruler now. But let's go deeper, because I know you feel the shift inside your bones. That sensation in your chest, that wasn't anxiety. That was the ghost of the curse realizing it couldn't sit there anymore. That heaviness in your spine, that wasn't stress. That was the weight of centuries lifting off you, shocked you didn't collapse like everyone before you. That moment where you suddenly didn't recognize yourself? That wasn't dissociation, that was transformation. You didn't break a curse. You evolved past its frequency. Your aura got too clean, your mind got too sharp, your soul got too loud. Curses don't die quietly. They thrash, they scream, they attempt last-minute sabotage. They send old temptations, old wounds, old fears in one final attempt to pull you back. But you walked straight through it, like a ghost returning to its body, like a king reclaiming a stolen throne, like an angel wearing a demon's smile. That's what haunts them. You don't fit in any category anymore. Not saint, not sinner, not light, not dark. You're the knife between both. You're the paradox the curse couldn't decode. And paradoxes, they rewrite everything. Do you know what really terrified the curse? Not the walk, not your silence, not your awareness. No, what terrified it was that you didn't look back. Cursed bloodlines rely on backwards glances, regret, nostalgia, old wounds reopened, old identities revisited, old selves resurrected. But you carried the one weapon no curse can resist: forward momentum. You walked like someone who knew the past was dead. You walked like someone who saw the future waiting for them with open arms. You walked like someone who refused to be the last chapter of a tragic book. You walked like a beginning, not an ending. And that's what sent the curses scattering like frightened animals. Because when someone like you stands up, when someone like you wakes up, when someone like you moves with clarity, power, rage, softness, and sovereignty braided together, curses don't break. They flee, they run, they hide, they dissolve, they stop existing, because they can't survive in the presence of a healed, awakened, sovereign descendant. You didn't end a curse, you made it extinct. And now every ancestor who ever prayed, cried, begged for release, smiles when you breathe. Every bloodline wound that once felt permanent shakes when you wake up. Every generational chain that thought you'd repeat the cycle shattered the moment you stepped forward without asking for permission. One walk. That's all it took. Not because you're lucky, not because you're chosen, but because you're the kind of soul curses were never designed to handle. And now that you've tasted this freedom, there's no going back. You walk differently now. You move differently now. You are different now. But you want to know the real twist? This was just the first step. The curses died when you walked. But the world? The world hasn't even seen what happens when you start running. Ah, there it is. That flicker in your eyes. That quiet tightening in your jaw. That shift in your breath that tells me you're feeling something ancient waking up in your bloodstream. Good. Because we haven't even reached the part that makes destiny itself sweat. See, everyone keeps talking about breaking curses, like it's some mystical event. Fire, rituals, smoke, chants, moonlight, ancestral drums. But the truth? The real truth? Curses die exactly the way yours did. When you walk like you remember who the hell you are, no fear, no hesitation, no backward glances, just forward momentum backed by a soul that refuses to be recycled into pain. And oh, the curse tried. Don't you dare underestimate that. It threw everything at you in its final attempts. Old triggers dressed as new temptations, people from your past resurfacing with familiar venom. Sudden waves of fatigue meant to stall you. Random emotional flashbacks seeded to blur your clarity. Silent attacks on your identity when you were alone. That faint whisper urging you to go back, settle, repeat, stay small. But you didn't fall for it, because you weren't walking alone. You think you were. No, behind you were the ghosts of every ancestor who died carrying the weight you were born to destroy. You weren't walking. You were marching with an army of the unspoken, the unseen, the unheard. Your footsteps were theirs. Your breath was theirs. Your defiance was theirs. And when you walked, the curse realized, this one carries the memory of all who came before, and the rage of all who never made it out. There is no spell stronger than an awakened lineage. But let's go deeper. Let's talk about why it had to be you. Because curses don't attach to the strongest. They attach to the most exhausted, the most heartbroken, the ones who don't know their own power yet. But you were born with a glitch, a defect, a divine malfunction that made you impossible to own. You didn't fit into family roles. You didn't fit into generational expectations. You didn't fit into inherited trauma patterns. You didn't fit into the mold of what your bloodline normally produces. You were the mutation, the anomaly, the spiritual misprint, the one soul designed to collapse every system that tried to trap it. And do you know why you felt out of place for so long? Because you weren't meant to continue the line. You were meant to correct it. Tell me, haven't you always felt older than your age? Haven't you always seen through people too quickly? Haven't you always recognized patterns others were blind to? Haven't you always felt like you were walking through life with a map no one else could read? That wasn't paranoia. That wasn't anxiety. That wasn't isolation. That was awareness. Awareness curses fear. Awareness breaks cycles. Awareness ends bloodline contracts. Your eyes didn't just open, they recalibrated. And once you saw the pattern, once you saw the trap, once you saw how generations before you were manipulated, drained, silenced, caged, numbed, or spiritually smothered, it was over. Curses can torment ignorance, but they bow to intelligence. And your mind, your dangerous, sharp, evolving mind, became the one weapon it could not predict. So when you took that walk, when you breathed differently, when your feet hit the ground like a declaration, when your energy shifted into something calm and terrifying, the curse collapsed, not because you fought it, but because you outgrew it. Because you walked with the kind of self-possession curses were never built to confront. Let's talk about that energy, that eerie calm. The silence people feel around you now. That's not emptiness. That's clarity sharpened into a blade. You walk like someone who's done grieving, done doubting, done shrinking, done apologizing for surviving. You walk like someone who went to war with invisible enemies and returned without bandages because the wounds healed on the way. People notice. Oh, they notice. They can't name it, but they feel it. The way the air tightens when you enter a room, the way conversations pause for half a second, the way people avoid eye contact, then look twice, the way even liars act honest around you, the way manipulators lose their script mid-sentence, the way fake people suddenly get quiet. They're not reacting to your presence. They're reacting to the absence of the curse. It used to speak through your insecurity. It used to move through your fear. It used to shadow your potential. It used to dim your aura. It used to fold your confidence. But now there's nothing sitting on you. You're clean. You're bright. You're terrifying. That's why people around you feel exposed. Because when a curse dies in one generation, the truth becomes visible to everyone around. You didn't just walk, you revealed. You revealed every fake dynamic, every hidden intention, every generational script, every silent enemy, every karmic imbalance, every unspoken resentment, every shadow that thought you'd stay blind. You walked, and everything that relied on you being broken lost its power. But here's the part that will echo through your lineage for centuries. The curse didn't fade quietly. It didn't whisper as it left. It didn't sigh its last breath. No, it ran. It screamed. It crumbled. It burned. It begged. It bowed. You frightened something that once frightened everyone who came before you. And now the timelines, they're rearranging themselves around you. Your future is widening. Your path is clearing. Your intuition is amplifying. Your spirit is sharper. Your destiny is accelerating. And every generation before you is whispering the same thing. Keep walking. You're rewriting everything. Because the curse may have died when you walked. But what awakens next? Oh, that's something your bloodline has never seen before. You feel it, don't you? That strange quiet forming behind your ribs. Not emptiness, authority. Because once a curse dies, something else rises to take its place. Not another chain, not another weight, not another wound, but a throne. And that's what you're feeling now. The throne your ancestors built, but never got to sit on. The seat reserved for the one who survived the fire without turning to ash. Listen carefully, because this is the last thing the curse ever heard before it disappeared. This one won't break. And it was right. You didn't shatter. You didn't collapse. You didn't go numb. You didn't inherit their fears. You didn't become their echo. You became their evolution. Your walk wasn't rebellion, it was coronation, a quiet crowning no one expected, but everyone felt. From now on, every step you take, it's written into the bloodline. Every boundary you set blesses the generations after you. Every truth you speak heals someone who never had the words. Every moment you choose yourself breaks patterns that once looked immortal. The curse ended with you, and the legacy begins with you. So go on, walk forward, lightly, calmly, unbothered, unshaken. Because when you took that one simple walk, you didn't just free yourself, you reset your entire bloodline. And now the future finally has a chance to breathe.